I wanna pay you back. I wanna pay you back for loving me. Pay you back for loving me. See the old R&B love songs of the 60s, 70s, and 80s. Gave you that 3 minute of high vibration. So, well, here we go. Shine 'em up good, going through my neighborhood. Shine 'em up good, going through my neighborhood. The power of blue argonite is on you. The power of blue argonite is on you. The power of blue argonite is on you. All right, now get heavy. Well, good morning. Hope you are feeling this glorious blood moon. But welcome to the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your super funky host, 8 Wind. Is timeless, Big Pontiac, the Time Lord, whichever way you've come to know me. I am one and the same. I am also the holder of the infinite sacred ball game created by the Hero Twins. And I'm also your one and only Galactic Daddy-O, welcoming each and every one of the Chocolate Mountaineers on my galactic patio, which reaches from Minnesota out to the universe. And so tonight I am just copper watering it. So pop them if you got them. But I am still going with the unicorn Luca. So smoke them if you want them. That's right. Get this full moon energy going crazy. Hey, what's happening, Lorenzo? All right. Hey, hello, brother. Sent you a picture of my project today. Sorry, it was 10 minutes. Okay, it was 10 minutes earlier. Okay, bet. Okay, I'll check it out. You know, when I get done checking it out. I started a little late because the hockey game went into overtime. Dallas, I don't know how Dallas thought they was going to win. Dallas's goalie set a record. He blocked 60 shots and he made 3, and the final one beat him. And his team only shot 30. So it's no way you can win. So Calgary won. The Rangers ended up winning earlier. Rangers, so both Pittsburgh or Pennsylvania teams got knocked out. So that was surprising that both of those teams got knocked out. Yet they let Boston move on. Well, Boston's Massachusetts, but they let the Boston team move on. Today I turned 39. Well, joyful day. Enjoy your special day, brother. Right on, Lorenzo. We give Lorenzo a big, that a boy. What did they say? He's a jolly good fellow that nobody can deny. Big 39. I remember when I was 39, knocking them down still, knocking them down left and right. Shoot, 39. I had 3 children by then, I think. Like I had 3 children by then. But yes, you're definitely, hooray for you, brother. Hooray, It's good to reach these milestones. And that's right, you celebrate yourself. And so, yeah, hats off to you for sure. Oh, and I forgot to tell you, my special guest host is Nobody's Fool. Forgot to say that. Or hey, what's happening, man? On my other account, feeling real emotional day. I can't call it. Oh, okay. Tell you this blood moon. I don't know. That's, I guess, even for hockey, I guess I should mention that. Did you guys go out and revel and get the moon bath? Because about an hour ago, it was nice. It was really peaking because I watched it as it was about to change. And it was quite extraordinary. Usually I miss these kind of things. They keep it cloudy up here or some crap. Not today. It was full effect. And to show you how magic works, I've explained before, I live on a couple pretty strong ley lines, and I pinpointed where the strongest one in my yard is, in this complex, because it's basically just a 2-unit. We got a couple of townhouses in front of us, but I found where the strongest one, and I've said since these witches, when I first moved here, used to always try to park there or come right when I'm trying to do some ceremony. Well, today, nobody was parked there, which is very, very rare. So I was able to sit in that spot and enjoy the moon, get recharged by it. And then I went out there a second time and manifest. Oh, yeah. So I just hope, this is a great time to manifest. As I said, the energies generally start 3 days before and go 3 days after. So I hope you were able to, I did bring, I always can get more sage. So I'm going to burn a little sage and, say a little positively for everyone. So Suns threw the game away. Yeah, they threw the game away. Yeah, I just watched that game. They did a 50-50 booking with Dallas teams. Mavs won the game 7 while the Stars lost game 7. That's a good point. That's a good point. But I mean, how one goalie gonna block 60 and you expect to win? And you only shot 30 goals? Ain't no way you're gonna win like that. And I ain't really have any money on this game. I forgot. But yeah, the Suns threw the game away. I mean, and they must have paid attention because 2 years in a row, I caught Chris Paul doing the walk of shame. You notice they didn't do it this year. They just showed him hugging people. They didn't get that walk of shame like they did last year. See, you think the NBA doesn't pay attention? They pay attention. They pay attention. You may think they don't, but they do. They show us that they pay attention. And so no walk of shame tonight for Chris Paul. They shamed him while he was sitting down. You look at my video, you see him looking up there. He looked up there the whole time because he knew. He knew. But that's why I say he's the lovable loser. That's going to be his role. But I was looking forward for that walk of shame. Like, yeah, I was waiting. I kept the equipment ready, and no. They did not do it. I thought as the camera followed him, they were going to do it. No, they did not. On the Boston game, they called it a little closer for Giannis. Because one play, he just pushes the dude with all this, and they just let it go. But again, Milwaukee is a hard sell. They're a hard sell. Giannis is boring. He's only 3-4 years, 5-6 years in speaking English, so he's not very marketable. And his style of ball, again, without the assistance, he's a one-trick pony. Kind of a lot like what Shaq was at first. Oh, indeed. We hope you have many more, Lorenzo. Indeed. Mine is at about a month. Choke Paul and Lent, what's happening? I'm sorry, I didn't say that. Choke Harding, playing their roles. Absolutely playing their roles. Absolutely. A.B. Brown. Favorites fell to 9-3. Suns lost on a Saturday and Sunday 93 million miles away. Good point. That's the Mason number, the 93. That's what the Masons came up with. The NBA wants to sell Luka as dominant. Years ago, he beat the Jazz really bad. Chris Paul chokes every year. The NBA is trying to redeem Boston for the Kyrie drama. Maybe. I don't think they needed a reason. The most them and the Lakers is the two franchises they want in it really every year. The NBA wants the Warriors to be the modern day Spurs, kind of, but without the use of all the foreign players. I'll say that. Hey, Divine Networking, thank you for joining. How you doing? Yes, I was just talking about that. I know it's a delay between your questions and comments, but I reveled in the it was truly a blood moon, some beautiful pictures on Facebook, people getting it all around the world. But especially from North America, we really got exposed to most of the country being able to see it. As I said before, a lot of times it is just too cloudy here. They'll put the rain to block it. Do you think the NBA is more likely to set up Cardinals? Do you think the NFL is likely to set up Cardinals losing in their own Super Bowl arena, or Tom Brady going back to Super Bowl for the last year? Cardinals, yeah, I could see him setting Cardinals all the way up. They put a decent defensive team on them, and he'll be pretty decent down there. So, yeah, I wouldn't be, but they're not going to win. But, yeah, I would say that's likely putting them there to lose. They won't win at home. They'll be the first team, in modern times in this run of the last few years. Hey, Damon 23, thank you for joining me. Another thing about San Francisco teams playing in the 75th anniversary, the Warriors are in the conference finals against a Dallas team, the 49ers in the game against the Cowboys. Yeah, but for years that was a rivalry too, when Joe Montana and the old Cowboys before Jones bought them. That was a big rivalry, Dallas and San Francisco. Hey, Key, how you doing? Thank you for joining. Yeah, so for years that was a big rivalry. So that could be a point to it too. I see I see it going to the Warriors. Of course, the Warriors thing is the undersized when they go undersized, and this might be a thing. I ain't got to stare at the sun. Stare at the sun. Stare at these damn hot ass lights. Leonard Way, any option on the stock market this week? Wow. Everything kind of it balanced out Friday, but it took a hit the whole week. I wouldn't even say gold this week, other than maybe buying you up some shares at 18 something. Gold is probably going to open it still around 18. So that's really not a great gamble, because it was up to 19, back in April. So other than gold, trying to think, don't do Netflix, don't do Disney, stay away from those, because they are really taking a hit. All the streaming services are taking a stream hit, so it doesn't look like good money at this point. And we're still, because of the shortages, it's affecting a lot of the retailers if you wanted to look at some retailer stocks. So I'm not really sure this week. That's a pretty good call. At this point, I couldn't hardly recommend anything because everything is so volatile. Um, uh, what is it? The petroleum companies. The petroleum companies probably going to be a pretty good bet. They showing gas in California being 7 something. Now, as I said the other night, my Ford can burn flex fuel. So I found flex fuel still at $3. And so doesn't seem to affect it. World is crazy. Yeah. So I would say, I always say buy gold, but it's still, I mean, it did lose $1,000 from last month, but again, you're getting it cheaper this month too. You know, instead of paying 1,900, you're paying 18 something. So that's not a bad thing. But yeah, petroleum companies, even though I'll say this, trying to think what I was listening from last Monday. Yeah, I think like Chevron is still doing pretty good. Most of the fuel companies are still a pretty good bet. So that would be my only thing is to follow that. World is crazy, food shortages. Yeah. That's why I'm saying Warriors too. They doing what the 49ers did when the NFL was in the 75th season. That's a good call and a good catch, Lorenzo. Thanks for sharing that. Plus, it's Curry's 13th season, and he'll be tied with LeBron with 4 titles. Remember, they were born in the same city and hospital, just different years apart. But yeah, so was Nate Thurman. Nate Thurman was born in that hospital too, which is probably LeBron's daddy. And we've been seeing a lot of 13. The shooting was 13. I mean, it's just when they put these codes out, these codes be everywhere. So that's another 13 that we probably could look at and say there's some good possibilities with it. And let's burn some other kind of smoke other than my oh yeah. I anointed everything with the oils, but this doesn't seem to bother my cat as much. Incense be fucking him up, but yeah, get that going. The sounds clear out a lot of stale energies too, but it's not bad. Just to, and you know, do this at home. Hit everything, all your pictures, everything. You know, everything that's around you. You know, you get this. Do everything. I do the pictures. I do the knickknacks. You know, I let everything. The salt lamps. I put it in my bowl. A lot of times I activate the bowls. You know, I put it around the plants. And this plant right here, I don't know if you can see this big ass leaf. This plant is 11 years old. 11 years old this month. This other one is 7 or 8 years old. And I put their ass in new pots, they went crazy. And this big thing, shoot, this was the smaller piece. You know, you get the corn plants. Sage is so smells so good. So oh, and I'm gonna show this. This was my great grandmother's. This is about the only piece I got left. I broke the rest of it. I shouldn't have taken it out the box. I wanted to look at it, thought maybe I could use a little bit of it. End up not putting it back right. Not having the room to put it either. So most of the cups and stuff. I don't think it had plates. I'm pretty sure it didn't have plates. It just had like serving dishes and coffee cups and shit. It smells so good. But you know, this didn't have any purpose. And now, you know, I keep this in here because this shit will burn you up. I caught a fire on some shit in here with some of this stuff. So just clearing some energies here, sending this positive energy to everybody. Yeah. All right. Hey, brother PJ, how you doing, man? How you doing? Thank you for joining, brother PJ. Allen's in the house. That's my main man from across the land. Ohio Wayne. Was LeBron indoctrinated from birth? Same as Curry, MK Ultra, trained from birth. Have you seen LeBron James clone in a crowd? No, I really haven't seen his clone, anybody look like him in the crowd. But dudes built like him, dudes play like him. Yeah, it's been a lot of dudes that kind of size. What's amazing is when I see these cats be running like other people, it's like, wait a minute, how do you move? like Magic in high school had a shuffle. He kind of got away from that. But like when Magic would come, like when he was in high school and they, the teams come out, the teams come out in high school and the band goes crazy. Magic had a weird shuffle he used to do. I mean, he just would shuffle instead of really run. He would kind of just shuffle his feet around. So, but when he went into pros, he stopped doing that. I noticed that he stopped doing that. So yes, there was definitely an eye kept on them. So he talks about how poor they was. But remember, when you start showing promise, he probably started showing promise 5th, 6th grade. So maybe they suffered up until then. But once they got him in ball and he got ranked in AAU, their lives was a lot better. And remember, by his senior year, his mama was able to buy him a brand new Hummer. Remember that? And remember what they did? They made him miss a high school game because he went to a clothing shop and they gave him 2 free jerseys. 2 free jerseys, and he had to miss a game because of that. What was his name? Terrell, the Ohio State quarterback. Do y'all remember that? He plays a receiver in the NFL. Remember what they did to him? What killed his college career? They had part-time jobs at this car dealership, but like when you beat Michigan, you get the golden pants. You get a little gold. They were selling them, and Tyrell Pryor, I think was his name. His college career cost him because they sold their jerseys from a bowl game, and he sold his golden pants. So you see how ridiculous the rules used to be, and costing people their college careers. And they made Clarett was nice. Clarett was a real nice player. He was, but he challenged NFL, and the NFL spanked him. They ruined him because he challenged them. They ruined him as a person. And I always thought, his challenge was stupid because you do have to, it ain't like basketball or baseball, tennis. Football is a physical game, and you have to have a couple solid years of lifting. If nothing else, you need 2 solid years of a college type of lifting program to be eligible to take the hits. It's just like wrestling. It may be fake, but you got to be able to take a dude picking you up and body slamming you. That part is real. So you have to be able to take that kind of beating. Practice. Shoot. But yeah, to answer your question, yeah, he definitely was from the time he was little. Whoops. Ooh. Oh, here we go. Shit jumped on me. They gave me a Walter Payton Mitchell. Ooh, nice. They gave him a Walter Payton Mitchell and Ness. They gave him Gale Sayers one too. They gave him 2 jerseys, but they gave him the Walter Payton, and them pretty rare. You hardly ever see them. Sam Jones, I told you, yeah, CWE, you was right. I was looking at it, and it's like, yeah, they got it. Let me see. Renzo says, Celtics and Warriors are the 2 original teams. Yeah. Now, Niners made it to the Super Bowl in the 75th season and won it, but they also made it to Super Bowl 100th season, but lost it. Both games was in Miami. Now, that is interesting thing. Thank you for sharing that. SD, I bet Mavs. Great odds. All right. Looks like it's going to be a trilogy, Mavs and Heat. I don't think they ain't going to pass the Heat. Going to put the Heat past Boston. Celtics, yeah, I think so too. The Yankees won tonight too. The Yankees won. I saw that. And the Twins beat the Guardians. So, y'all step off. So look out for our Miami. Miami and Boston both came into the Eastern Conference Final with 8-3 records. That's a good point. I think that kind of goes to what SD is saying a little bit. Boston and Miami. Good evening. Hi, Jody. She put a little out for Jody. I made that video. I was thinking about Jody showing Seth with the cheetah print, and I looked at it several times, and I was like, "What is it that bothers me?" And then I caught it. When I caught his little scarf, I was like, that's why I said Jody, I like this catch. I was like, because I looked at it. Oh, and Jody, this was specifically for you. There's a new animation movie about some cat called Bad Luck or something, but this was interesting. The cat in the commercial, they show the cat like ride up this I don't know, some lift. And he goes to where it's good luck because it's a black cat. It's supposed to be bad luck. So he goes by the good luck room and they show, you know, what the good luck room was. But then what was interesting, he goes by the bad luck room and you see the goat heads. There's goat creatures and I thought that was interesting. So I was hoping to see that commercial again, and I really didn't get to see it again. But that made me, so look out for that one. I think the movie's called Bad Luck or something like that. But it's a cat animation that's coming out real soon. And it was interesting when they showed Bad Luck and they had the two goats sitting down there. It's like, that is interesting. And this is what I've noticed about Hollywood. Hollywood, like it's a battle going on Hollywood. Well, but also if you go into all is revealed, I mean that's pretty much it is. Pretty much at this day and age, all is revealed. There ain't a whole lot of secrets. I mean, we figured out. We know if they bring aliens, it's just them. In military stuff, it's just them with military. That's all it is if they say an alien pops out, you know, like the movie show, and everybody greets them, it is the military. That's all. So all is revealed, and so that's why there seems to be a battle where they do have to reveal so much, and it's up to us to pay attention to pick it up. Jimmy Butler, NBA Finals, MVP. I don't know. We might have to bet. I had one and gave it away. Oh, bet. You had Walter Payton? Okay. I still hate they took my McNabb jersey and my Michael Vick jersey. My McNabb jersey was a real heavy game jersey. It was a real one. Not that he signed or anything, but it was a real Eagles jerseys. Celtics get revenge for Heat for 2012, 10 years later in 22. That could be a good call. Shout out to the Rangers for winning 3 straight to advance to the next round. Yeah. I don't think that was where they took dude's helmet off. I didn't think that was that big a deal. You can pick your helmet up and put it back on. That's what he should have did, because dude just kind of like as they came across behind the goalie, dude just arm was up, and as they was kind of, you know, trying to get position, his hand kind of slipped over his head and pulled his helmet off. Well, instead of dude, you know, going straight out, which is not necessarily the rule. The rule is you can put your helmet back on. It's like when you locate your helmet, you put it back on. But instead, he just took off the ice, which gave a power play. And, you know, that's how they end up scoring. They end up scoring like that. This other game just got out of overtime. With all the racism in the news, do you think possibly trying to make Luka the face of the NBA? As I said before, he ain't got national commercials. And when you don't see him get national commercials, they're not pushing him. They're not pushing him. They push the lovable loser. They push all the losers. You know, they got the 2 dudes with the Hulu commercials, both losers. A lot of times these dudes who are pushing as the losers in a lot of ways are the face. You know, you can look at them as more the face than Luka. So Luka may get in there, but he's not going to get any more national notice. I don't know if he goes to these ad agencies and they don't like him. That could be very well too. And remember, his first couple of years, straight up Nazi haircut. Both of him and Porzingis was looking straight up like Nazis. You know, I made a video. Maybe it was on my old channel. I don't remember, but I was like, these are some Nazis. So I don't know. I mean, I don't think they're going to elevate him to a win. Banana Boat, Mandela Effect Theory. Do you remember the Banana Boat team? Who was it? Mello, Wade, D Wade, wife on the boat. Yeah, it was after they had lost, and they put him out there. I remember that. Whoops, kind of jumped. I don't want to harp too much this Kevin stuff, but we having cyber funerals. Yeah, that's what I saw. Sly said. Again, I never listened to the cat. I couldn't tell you. That's why, you know, when we was talking about this, yay or nay, I ain't really got nothing to say. Mavs versus the Heat. Okay. Okay, I see that, SD. All is mentioned, all is revealed, all is manipulated, all is scripted. In the end, all of us average Joes enslaved like movies show future. Yeah, I mean, we are enslaved. We are enslaved. You can make $100,000 and typically be a slave. And by a slave is your routine would be the same as almost everybody because you still got to pay bills, take care of children, go to work, and hope nobody kills you while you're trying to do all that. So you become a slave to a lot of things. You become a slave to a lot of things. Mavericks versus Heat, they like pushing final rivalries. That's a good point. King Kang, how you doing? Anyone wins but Warriors. Anyone wins but the Warriors. I still think the Warriors are going to win. I put Warriors in the finals, and I still think they're going to win. Anyone but the Warriors. Look, yeah, but that doesn't mean nothing. We ain't seen no commercials with him. They did give him a highlighted one colorway. Yeah, there was only one colorway. Too bad Read My Soul ain't watching, but I think it's only one colorway that they gave to Luka. Only one. And then I think I said this. I was in the 2 weeks ago. I was in the Jordan Outlet, and they had I think it's the Bugs Bunnies. The one I really don't like. I never liked it, but they had a pair of pink pair. It was still 167, but it was only 12 and a halves too. And I was like, yeah, I'm not killing my feet. But so yeah, Luka, I think there's only one colorway made for him. Zion Williams got more colorways, and he ain't even played in a couple years. So Kelby Samuels on that last episode of Atlanta. Oh, was he? Oh, I didn't know that. I haven't watched it yet. I'm like two behind. I'm like two behind on them. Foreigners won't ever be the face of the NBA. Yeah, I think that too. Because none of them been the face of the NBA yet. They may put them on the game box, but that ain't the face of it. NBA won't let Celtics pass 17s. That's why they haven't won since '08. Would you think they would won at least 2 chips after '08 with all these talented teams? But remember, when Paul Pierce, the majority of his career wasn't until LeBron came that they made they was counting heavily on getting Tim Duncan, and they didn't get Tim Duncan. They stayed in the cellar for years. I'm happy Giannis choked in the NBA. Giannis passed KD's legacy after all. His boring type of basketball. I think, their ratings sucked last year. A little off topic, but do you think that the 5 civilized tribes plays to create the red man Indian and not the original black man? Of course. Of course they created that. That's the Cowboys and Indian stuff. I mean, the Obawijis, Osagis, Wanawampankins, I think is what my tribe is called. I can never say the word right, but we was all on the East Coast and pushed across. And so my brother came across a saying from a Sioux that lived in South Carolina. I can't think of it. I'm old man right now, but what it said is, part of the tribe had left. And then that being journeyed west. And then when he met his people, he's like, I don't know these people. The people don't have our ways anymore. And so that's what they did, is that the people came down from Canada and settled in some of these plains. Again, you have to look at their lifestyle. It's the same lifestyle as the Mongolians. The people that lived on the East Coast and in Florida, we wasn't into following what the animals did. That's what the Mongolians did. And that's why you see they can't deny, and they tell you that. If you talk to them, they tell you. But so yeah, they highlight that a lot more because they'd have to give a lot more land back. They'd have to give all that prime land on the East Coast back. I've got this picture of the people building the Chrysler Building behind it. One of the things that I later discovered in the picture is they show you Central Park from the 1930s. So we only talking about 70 years before where they kicked all them tribes off it. And this picture, you can see where the living, you can see where the living areas were. You can see where it's cleared out, not just cut the trees down, but you can see where the people lived actually. And, so they've known, and they've covered it up for over 100 years. They've covered it up almost 150 years, but people are starting to come back and to their knowing. And so that cowboy thing is going away. NBA won't let. Okay, I think I read that one. Let's see. I am happy again is choked. But yeah, they were created. That is who they made deals with. That is who they made deals with. They made deals with these people. And I said the one thing that hampered us as a people, as I said, Tecumseh and what Pontiac tried to do. Pontiac was like, look, just because they give you trinkets and they give you trinkets, you cannot get fat and comfortable with these people. We got to draw the line somewhere. And these are the only two cats that really did this and that said, look, we have to bond together or we all going to be pushed out. We gave them the East Coast. What more do they want? Well, they wanted all of it. What's his name? Jason, whatever Jason's name is. Jason broke down the dude's manifesto. And that's what it was, is they bogarted their way across the country and took the country. I mean, it's no other way to look at it. I got a book coming about the slaughter they did out west. You know, there was that movie on, or Fox had a TV show where the dude says these tribes out on the West Coast lived peaceful for 3,000 years and nobody fucked with them. Then they tell that lie about the gold to get more people to go, more Europeans to go across the country. And once they started going out there, this is really just coming to light in the last 20 years, is the massacre. I mean, just straight up murking these people, hundreds of people almost at a time. Women, children, old people. I mean, just, it all was about the land. You know, again, if you want an ideal of the undercoverness of the government even being complicit in some of this shit, read Killer of the Flower Moon. Read that, and it just blows your mind. When I saw numbers with the Buffalo shooting, 10 dead and 3 injured, I knew propaganda. Oh, yeah, the 13. Yeah, that was the first thing I noticed, too. That's why I really didn't look into it. Warriors versus the Heat, Tim Hardaway ritual. Now, that is something I had not thought about. You could be spot on with that. I had not thought about that. Very well could be true. Yeah, that's a good point. That's a real good point. That is a real good point. It very well. That's a good catch there. That is a real good catch. Where we at? Shoot. And you know what? I could not find the race today. I could not find the race for the world of me. I didn't play pickleball today, so I could not find the race. So I missed the car race. I don't know if other things preluded. I don't know. Big money and government up to something bigger than us, but I don't know what, and I don't understand why corrupt media is making the issue of race war, but it's really 1% versus 99. That's it. It is. And that's why I was talking about last night, the buffer class. That's why the buffer class and the term white over what the people really were came in. They tried to mix everybody together, so they had a buffer class. So it was the whites against, you know, the native, the original Americans, American Indians. And so that's what they wanted to keep it, because that keeps everybody looking at it. That keeps the whites and the American Indians looking at each other and not turning around in solidarity looking at them. Because if it was a strike, and I know Nick Taylor probably said this could never happen, but if all the military people said, fuck you, you rich people want to make these moves to kill some of us off, and the military said, you know what, we're tired of this. And the military said, let's have a real civilian government. Now, I know there's enough operatives for these elites to try to stop that kind of thing. But just think if that happened. And they was like, fuck them. We're not doing this for y'all. Because we are enriching people against our own people, because our own government wages certain types of war against us. Propaganda is a thing of war. So, MJ's 45, Rig win. Yeah. Lobo did a good thing that showed how the winner was Bush. I think one of the Bushes won, and how he was on the truck races last night. And I don't even think that was on in my cable last night. And how the winner, you know, they was like, wouldn't be interesting if you won. And I agree, his with the Jordan in the front, with the banana or the elephant trim on his jersey, with the elephant trim, I mean, on his fire suit, that was tough. And his helmet, that really looked nice. He had the elephant trim on the sleeves and the legs with the big Jordan brand in the middle. That was a big win for Jordan. That's his second win. That's Jordan's second win. So yeah. But the race, I could not find the race. Could not find the race. Now, unless it was super early and I missed it, because I didn't get up till 1. This my lughead son, you know, I came off of here about 2:33, went to bed, and he knocking on the door. There's a spare key in the house, and he knocking on the door. So he woke me up at 4:30. I'd only been asleep for about an hour. Oh, I'm sorry. I was looking at those matchups because San Francisco teams ties the 75th anniversary, but I never looked at possible matchup like that. Yeah, I hadn't thought about that either. And they've been kind of highlighting that a little bit. Oops. Bucks losing proved the championship run was scripted and rigged, and they won because of 50th anniversary, like the Chiefs. Yeah. I think we talked about that before. WAP all the time. That Charlo fight, KO looked fake. Yeah, the guy he fought though was pretty tough. I watched a little bit of that one. The guy he fought was a pretty tough guy too. I can't find any info on Pontiac and what tribe he was part of. Pontiac came from he was actually the chief of the Ottawa tribes, which is part of Grand Rapids, Michigan. That area that was their area. They camped out around because some of the high schools up there are called Ottawas. So the Ottawas is a Michigan, basically a southwestern Michigan tribe. He was originally taken from trying to think of my other family tribe, but it was a tribe out of North Carolina. God, I'm really old, man. But that's where he was taken as a boy. Those two tribes had a conflict, and the North Carolina tribe got driven out, and he was taken as a young boy by the Ottawas. So he was raised by the Ottawas. But he was one of the ones that I want to say the late 1700s is taking the war belt around and saying we need to team up. You know, we need to team up before it's too late. And Tecumseh was the last one, and they even tried to take Tecumseh's energy. You know, Tecumseh Sherman. Remember, you know, this is how they tried to steal stuff and take the energy away. That's why the car is just called Pontiac with the Indian head on there. They try to take these energies for themselves. They don't want us to be able to use this stuff. That's why I'm trying to take the Pontiac name back, even though I love the name 8-Win. But I have to move the way the ancestors and the energies have me moving. So it is the time of the Pontiac. But yeah, look Pontiac up. He's an Ottawa. You can look up Ottawa, DT. Thank you for joining. I wouldn't have Babe Ruth pitch over Whitey Ford. Oh no. Babe over Whitey Ford. Oh, I think Babe had more control. Whitey probably threw harder, but I think Babe had more control. Yeah, I don't know. But shit, Whitey Ford probably got as many World Series damn near as Yogi Berra. He got at least 6, I think. I don't know about that one, though. I don't know CWE if I take Whitey Ford over Ruth. But he did throw hard. Worst part of being woke is you're constantly be looked at as crazy by most. Well, it's my son always says, "Can I turn it off?" You know, a lot of people. Well, what does Cypher say? And because of Super Sly, I remember his name. But what does Cypher Sly say? Put me back in. Put me back to sleep. You know, even though I know this is fake, I still don't want to know all this. So, I think my people coming up and being so fair people that, especially my mother, I think that it just made her super blackety black. And so I was raised in the culture, but I wasn't raised in the culture of the African thing so much as the book knowledge. Like I read Malcolm when I was in elementary school, Che Guevara Elementary School. Of course, I mention all the time, File by Connie Hawkins. I read that in 5th grade. But my mother was an avid reader, so she was going through these books. I would read them too. That's how I read Mandingo and Drum. Like, whoa, I didn't know they had books like this to talk about that shit. Jaws was another one. Jaws had a bunch of sex in it. I was like, oh. But so that just gave me, you know, a lot of self-awareness. And then the more we looked into things and looked into things, you know, the whole history came out. My family's history came out. So, let's see, where was I at? The more you know, the less you should believe. And as I say, WAPO all the time, I say don't believe in nothing. I say don't believe in nothing. You got to know and experience. Yeah. Uh, if you think about each and every one of us being here is pretty much because of chaos. Murder happens. We've been passed on by our ancestors and after the next lot of factors and histories somewhat. Yeah. Here we go. What is this, Lorenzo? Let me see. I was thinking, could Dallas really beat GS? That looked skeptical. Then it dawned on me, Hardaway played for both teams. That's a good point. That is a real good find. Then being called native ain't coming to play into the 70s. They're federal recognized, well, we federal protected because of civil rights back in right. Yeah. Well, native, that's again, you go into the gangs in New York and they tell you, they say they call natives the first generation after Washington. And where Dane Calloway added, the know nothing, what is it called? Republicans, Democrats, the know nothing was a political arm. And that's the natives was pushed. But the gangs in New York, for those of you that get that out of that, they tell you what natives are. The natives are first generation after Washington. Those were natives because they were no longer Brits. So that's what a native is. Native is not them. Each other, every one of us. Yeah, I read that. Something. Oh, Hardaway did say something about a player. Oh, okay. I hadn't heard about that. Okay. I saw that some months ago. Oh, PJ said he saw it. Okay. DT. Definitely. You're welcome, brother. Well, you're welcome. Thank you for joining me. What helped me about Pontiac and its ties to Michigan is the Lions used to play in the Pontiac Superdome dome before they played in Ford Field. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Pontiac is outside of Auburn Hills. You've got Pontiac, and then you take, I think it's north. You go north of Detroit, and you run right into Pontiac. And really, the city named after Pontiac ain't where he lived. He lived over in the Grand Rapids area, what would be where Ottawa's camp was. And yeah, that's because Pontiac is on the other side of the state, but where he operated from would have been kind of like north of where I grew up. I grew up in Kalamazoo. Grand Rapids is north of me, but all that area in there, because the Potawatomis were in my area in Kalamazoo. Probably far east they went, it would be Lansing, not quite far as Detroit, but it wasn't uncommon for them to go to Detroit, but it smells so good. It smells good even when it's not burning. It smells good. Oh, look at all that. Just giving out these good vibes. But yeah, I've been to Pontiac too. I've been to the Silver Dome. I first went when I was 14. So, golly, who did I see the Lions play when I was 14? I think like somebody like the Cardinals when I was 14. But I went to Pontiac a few times. Well, government setting up NWO where inflation, COVID restrictions, liberal media, free speech, business setting up for a great type of recycle. Well, I think the veils are being broken and people are seeing through this fakeness. And because people are seeing through this fakeness, they want to do what they're doing in China. They've been, that was a run through what they did before. And as brother Nick Taylor said, what did Nick say? When they bring out martial law, that means there's army patrols on every block. Now, again, will they have the manpower to do that all across America? I would say more than likely not. They would bring in the guard units and the police to do that. But that's what full military law is. That's what a full real lockdown would be. It would be, you got to have papers to go in and out. Remember, it was a time my brother showed that a lot, is you're going to have to show me your papers to get up out of here. No, you can't, the military up and down your street, you can't walk around. Now, could they do that? Possibly. But the people would probably fight up against that. Elon Musk playing the good guy, just like Trump playing certain emotions. Elon's just as evil as much with the neurotech and automation are truly good. Yeah, I agree with that. And look how many jobs robots are taking away. I think he plays a good guy. He's just unrelatably as a rich, but he plays like a common man. Well, you see where he kind of backed off. Looks like he might backed off Twitter. Yankees are 25-9. I think they're still leading the league. Sucked all the power out of each and every community, stealing land, farms, opportunity, different marketing, like Walmart, making everyone poor. We'd be richer community. We would, I would say, yeah. Know Nothing Party. Yeah, the Know Nothing Party. That's it. The Know Nothings. They're in that gang in New York. They're referenced. The Know Nothings are referenced in the gangs of New York. But that's where the natives come from. That's what, now that they want to use the name, but that's where it comes from. Remember on Hogan's Heroes, the German guy would go, I know nothing, I see nothing. Schultz, community farms, community clothing. But that was really what the hippie movement was. And I've said this more than once. The Charles Manson, the massacres was to get rid of communes. Because a part that's probably not talked about the hippies was a lot of the hippies was going out in the deserts. That's why that movie Once Upon a Time in Hollywood is so important to understand, because it shows you communal life. Again, they corrupted a little bit, making the people kind of weird. But the point was a lot of people were leaving the cities and saying, we don't want to deal with your food. We don't want to deal with your school system. We don't want to deal with your medicine. And remember, what the Panthers were really attacked for was their social programs, because in every instant, the Panthers were not aggressive. They were always fired upon first, up to the point where they straight up, with the FBI's help, assassinated Bunchy Carter and John Higgins. But and the same thing for Fred Hampton, why they murdered him. I mean, these social programs were working, the WIC, the breakfast programs, the lunch programs. Some instances, the Panthers served dinner. So the free health care in the neighborhoods, going door to door like they did back in the old days, where, the doctor would make a house call. That was in my lifetime. House calls was in my lifetime. I remember the doctors coming to see sick parents, sick grandparents, somebody sick, doctor coming to the house. That's within my lifetime. But most of y'all lifetime, it ain't. You would see a lot more on TV. You don't even see that kind of thing on TV. As when I was a boy, I saw that a lot on TV still, where, doctor making the house calls. That's what doctors used to do. Doctors wasn't rich like they are now. Doctors was just common folks. And that showed it a lot in movies. The doctors weren't elitists, as we see now. So, young Weezy said, I got to fight in high school baseball because I hit 3 home runs in the game off the same pitcher. I have zero clue why he didn't take his sorry ass out. I flipped my bat and he got mad as hell. Wow. He was shining on him. James, how you doing? You think they might try to give Pat Riley another championship? I would say it ain't out of the realm of possibility. I say it's not likely. Know Nothing was started by Louis Charles Levin. Okay. Thank you for adding that. And Young Weezer, thank you for joining me if I didn't say that. In the mid-2000s, Bush made it federally illegal to clone humans. Why? No one knows. Yeah, it's probably step-ins by then. I noticed something, too. When those teams that have these watch parties back at the stadium or arena, something big is expected for that team. And that goes back to Toronto. Toronto started that kind of thing. They put a screen, outside or let people in. Yep. Derek Jeter dressed as a woman Saturday Night Live in the 90s. He had makeup with a wig on, and Derek Jeter is on a recent commercial. Derek Jeter stepped down as the president of the Marlins. I do believe so too, but Derek Jeter is in the newest Subway commercial. The Mavs have a watch party at their arena tonight. Yeah, I noticed that too. I noticed they kept showing that. Because the first couple of times I was like, is this fans? I'm like, because it was a weird cut. I mean, I thought the way they cut was weird. And then I realized, I was like, oh, they showing back in Dallas. Okay. Yeah. Yep. But that's not uncommon. That's pretty common. But Toronto made it, where people would be outside in nice weather, so. At least, I'll say this, it ain't as bad as Minnesota as it is in Canada, because Canada be having about 2 months of summer. Because I was dating this woman up there, but I knew by the time winter hit, it wasn't going to last. Because it was like, yeah, how much snow's up there? Shit, and I know how much we had, and she's like, well, it's this much. And that was back when I had the daddy wagon. I'm like, yeah, I don't think I'm going 200 miles in this weather. Yep. Yep. So did The Rock. Yep. Derek Jeter dressed as a devil on Halloween. Oh, he's been totally initiated. Levi. I think Jay Moran's career is scripted. He's the new protagonist. Nothing but actors. That's a good point, Levi. I agree. The NBA is hardcore scripting that makes man's career. Most his layups are manipulated. I'll say this. That's how a lot of times they look at who could hold the script. You have to consider that. They look at who could hold the script and who can fit. Like Boban, they let Boban play and they let Boban score. I don't know if y'all caught the sidelines where somebody on the sideline said, let Boban score. One of the people on the sideline did that. And sure enough, he scored. Because I read somebody's lips, he's like, let Boban score. And sure did. Sure enough, he scored. But remember Boban got mad at the end of the game because the player shot it. But you know why he shot it. You notice they kept scoring at the end of the game. Did y'all notice that? A lot of times into the game is, but that final three, because that made it 129, 120, I think, something like that. And I'm like, look at this point shaving. Look at this point shaving. And that's all that is. It's just straight up point shaving. Just straight up point shaving. It smells so good and refreshing. Curry at All-Star game confirmed to me about the magnet manipulation. Yeah, I've been caught Curry stuff. His shots are too crazy. Yep. Number 8. When I seen the Pistons back in '89 when they swept the Lakers. They're just in the Palace, but the Raptors made it common. Okay. Okay. I saw a lot of Piston games in the Palace. Mac, I got the Warriors. I had put the Warriors in the finals, and now Philly got beat. I'm still picking the Warriors. I think the Warriors are going to beat the Mavericks. I really do. But we'll see how it goes out. If it's small ball and how physical they let Draymond play on Luka. Because watch, the games that the Warriors win, Draymond's going to be able to play physical with Luka. The games they lose, he's not going to be. So that's how we're going to be able to tell which way it's going. There it goes. Want all these good vibes. Both Miami teams are #1 seeds, Heat and the Panthers. That is a good point. The Heat and the Panthers. That is a real good point. That's a good catch. That's a good share too. It's funny. My son's friends are here. They ask if I had a bookie. If that's, I do have a bookie, but now it's so much cheaper to bet online than having to go through a person. A lot cheaper. Moon landing? Oh, come on. You know that's not real. I had one dude on TV like, you don't think it's real? There's a laser up there. They can bounce a laser off. So how do you think it got up there? Like they found some smooth surface that they can shoot a beam at, and the beam will bounce back. It don't come from us peoples. And they ain't tried it. I mean, what killed it? What made them stop doing it? Other than the money. That's one thing that made them stop doing it. And we got digital technology came out of the moon landing. Different ways to freeze dry certain foods. Again, that comes from military, but that came out of the so-called moon landing. Yeah, it was just a celebration of who used the Nazi bombs the most, the Nazi rockets. Jack, how you doing? The NBA is such a poor product. They do put a lousy product out there. It's easy. That's why my shows do real good. It's like they put a copyright on my show, on my video that I did. They're called Ghana's a script. They didn't like that one, and that's interesting when the NBA because you see all the NBA videos I do. I've only had 2 or 3 copyrighted, but it's interesting the ones they choose to copyright it. But that was one they didn't like. So it's somebody in the NBA office that looked at that one and is like, yeah, we can't let this go because that's what it is, though. I was catching them. He's changing his game to mid-range. And I caught it. And they do not like that reporter. They don't want people looking and saying, wait a minute, he's not taking as many threes. Did you notice that? Giannis wasn't taking threes. He was trying the mid-range shots. And then the one, where he's palming it and throws it up there, palming it. Now, unless you right at the basket, but that just shows you how badly fundamentally this dude was. And if it was a young American boy, American Indian player that had the lack of skill that he had at the same age, he'd have never made the NBA. Never. Never. And that shows you he's a creation and not his talent. And I'll say this, if you get to practice and play against NBA players, you're going to get better. You are going to get better. You play against better talent, you practice against better talent, you will get better. That is why it's important for young dudes. That's why I always liked the park concept. It was a chance for me to play against older men because I knew I would get better. So that's always been basketball. So it's not that Giannis is so good, but him getting the chance that wouldn't have been given to other players, especially not his rookie year. Especially not his rookie year. Hey, Liquid Fire. Thank you for joining me. Did you get that kind Europeans? I did not get her digits. I did not get her digits. Thank you for asking. I think she's married, but I'll probably see her again. It was just, glad to fall out around good people. But yeah, I whipped myself on that hot 90 day. I saw LaMelo Ball's home opener this year in Charlotte. I knew that Magnus was turned on in the fourth quarter for the Hornets. Yeah, a lot of times they will adjust it. I mean, they can make and break any player. NBA is trying to do whatever they can so they can have a future. I mean, that's one thing the bus show that was for real. This was something I didn't really pick up on, and I picked this up on. So, okay, Magic wins it in 79-80. Larry Bird wins it in 80-81. I was watching some highlights of Larry Bird. Don't you know in that 80-81 finals, they were still on tape delay. they were still playing under the tape delay contract. I didn't remember that. So I don't know what year they turned it all around and got the general TV contracts. But even in Larry Bird's first championship year, it was still tape delay. I had not remembered that. I did not remember that. But that's when the NBA, because the ABA merged with the NBA, they pushed all the European American players out of the league. They really did. And then when all the teams was full of brothers, because they figured brothers was the best chance to win in the 70s, people complained. The TV networks dropped them. The TV networks dropped them. And so you had the championship games on for a number of years. They wasn't the tape delay stuff. That's how unimportant the league became when the league was mostly dominated by brothers. They were about to go out of business. That is a real reality. They was calling the Knickerbockers. And the public didn't like that. So that's why the timing of Larry Bird coming into the league, Stein knowing that he was about to gain power, and through Magic, that's why Magic, you saw, if you watched, Winning Time, you saw how Kareem had the stats to be the MVP, but they gave it to Magic because they wanted this new type of play to take off. Do you think LeBron James winning rings? I know Lobo said that he didn't think he was going to win anymore, but he thought he was going to play with his son. I think both. I think he might win another one. It's going to be interesting who they get for Anthony Davis. I would get rid of Anthony Davis and Westbrook and see what I could get back for that. But nobody was going to want to take them contracts on. I met his dad. I think he's a Freemason. Probably so. Yeah, NBA people watch these videos exposing him. Oh, of course they do. Seriously, Trey, take care of yourself. Do you like coconut water? Yeah, I like coconut water. I get some every now and then. I sure do. I've got some greens, liquid greens in my fridge right now. It was just 90. It was just 90, and I did not realize it. And think about this. This was our first 90-degree day. This was my really first time, other than walking, but this was my first time playing in about 2 weeks too. And so probably it was my first time like playing in about 3 weeks. So, all that combination hit me at once. And here I am trying to, do it in the 90s. Because the last, I didn't play today. I took a break. But Giannis is on steroids. I wouldn't. Giannis is on PEDs probably at some point in his life. But thank you so much for Liquid Mocha. That's very kind words. My nose, she got me feeling like Mocha, Marsha Brady. She got Marsha. Then Giannis got a movie coming out next month. Yeah, Pat, Mac, somebody mentioned that last night. That is so funny. Big goofy laugh. It's funny, I giggle like my grandmother. My grandmother giggles, and all her children and the grandchildren that were around her, all of them giggle. We all giggle like my grandmother. NBA hits random players with PED penalties and weed penalties like Mike Beasley, but let dudes like Howard run around high, shit, no one suspicious. Good point. Jumped on me. Superstars don't hit penalties like LeBron. Yeah, so far. That's 30 people watching, but not 30 people talking in the chat. I don't care. Yeah, they could just watch. I don't care. NBA people are watching. Oh, absolutely. They absolutely watch. I know they watch. They've been monitoring me because I'm showing what it is. And I'm showing what it is from experience. And I'll say, a benefit I got from my cousin coaching WNBA team is I got to spend a lot of time after games looking at the hoops. And as the years would go by, because he coached for 5 years, he coached the first 5 years, he coached the Chicago team. And then he was assistant coach for a couple of years at the Indiana team. Because one of his assistants ended up being in Indiana, and then she ended up going to Vanderbilt. And he's coaching in Germany. He played pro ball in Germany, and he was going back, different seasons, but now he's still living in Germany coaching. He's been coaching in Germany probably for 20 years. Played all his career. He was originally drafted by the original Clippers. No, he's a little older than that. It was probably not San Diego. It's probably the LA Clippers by then. But Warriors winning it. Yeah, I think the Warriors are gonna win it. That's what I think. I think the Warriors gonna get it. Whoops. Sunday was Don Nelson's birthday. Heavy Bucks, Warriors, Mavs ritual maybe. You've been on the 7 side these recent 77 Luka games. Oh, that's a good point. Thank you, Most High. I hadn't thought about the Don Nelson connection. Yeah. So I guess the Bill Laimbeer thing didn't come up to fruition. How do you catch on to the NBA helping players make shots? I just had never like I watched that Don Nelson shot because that was on I want to say ABC back in the day. I watched that and I thought that was odd. And then that Jerry West shot the following season. I mean, he shot that from so far. But in Walt Frazier's book is what really made me notice it because Walt Frazier was saying no, he didn't throw it. This was a real shot. And those words, when I read Walt Frazier's book, it made me really think more about it. It's like Walt saying he shot the ball, and it's like no way that you would be physically, unless you did it all the time, to get a shot off like that. So that always made me think. And then as you look at that shot now, he shoot that shit damn near from the top. It would be in the 3-point line of the other team. He shot it from so far. So Jerry West shot. And as Lobo said, it shows the net actually coming into the basket before the ball goes in there. So they've had that technology. But, those who've watched me for enough years, they didn't highlight the technology until the 85 game. That's when you saw it on the national stage, Villanova versus Georgetown, where we have Villanova shot 71%. And I think his name was Jansen, Scott or Steve Jansen, scoring 21 points, hitting 7 threes. Yeah, that Georgetown team with some dudes could go after you. And not to say that McClain, he had 2 bigger dudes. Was McClain, the guard that ended up being a cokehead, and then he had the 2 other players, Pinkley that played with Boston for a minute, and Dwayne McClain. I can't think of the shorter guards. I think McClain was the kind of, but he didn't have a good NBA career either. Pinkley was the one that had the better career out of the cats. And then of course the shrug game. Of course, this dude was never so. So that's just looking at. NBA uses magnets to manipulate shots, and they were in denial. And you got to put the missile technology to the guidance system. The guidance system has something to do with it too, to guide it. And then it's a 2-part system. It's the guidance system to make sure it stays 0. So when it comes to the basket, is within the magnetic area. So they make sure the shot stays in there. As I said before, I caught this. I mentioned this before. I had one of the best ones I ever did. It was Draymond in 16. And you see the ball literally stop rotating and just drop in the basket. I've come across that footage again, and they've clipped that part out. They've clipped it because you don't even see it like that. But before it was like rotating, and you see the ball in midair stop rotating and just drop in the basket. Now, normally rotation is stopped by hitting something. So yeah, they know it's part of it. They know. None of these players can be better than Jordan in an easier league. How come none of these players can be better than Jordan? So you're saying that season where Steph team, they lost in the championship, but Steph was, yeah. So I don't think the thing was to be better than Jordan. I think the thing is to keep it entertaining just as much as when Jordan played. That's the goal. They ain't got to be better than him. They just got to be entertaining. That is the goal. It's just to be entertaining as Jordan was. Because look at the NBA up to Jordan. What was it? It was like Magic and Bird, but it was the team. It was the teams. It wasn't really an individual league. It was a team league. And that goes back to Bill Russell and the Celtics. It was all about the team. Stern was the first one to make it by individuals. Because even when Jabbar was at his peak, it wasn't about Jabbar as an individual. So David Stern highlighted Magic and Bird, and then he had Michael Jordan fall in his lap. And so he's been wanting to push, somebody said it earlier, You can look at it. It went from Jordan to Kobe, then Kobe to LeBron. But it really would have been Jordan to Grant Hill. If Grant Hill wouldn't have got hurt, it would have definitely passed to Grant Hill. Because Grant Hill was nothing but a taller, stronger Jordan. Yeah. I even say Grant Hill, I liked his game in a lot of ways better than Kobe's game. He had just as good a handle, bigger guy. Charles Barkley spitting on that little girl video was deleted from the internet. What about when I don't think it was ever on the internet when he threw the dude through the window. Acting this year, the drama, he killed it. He killed the performance. Yeah. But he was a cat that, again, quickness, jumping, shooting was never part of his game. I just wonder how Westbrook even went to college. Jordan's legacy will always be most entertaining from all the storylines. Damn dime, flu game, beating the bad boys. Yeah. Yeah. Entertainment. That's all it is. 6'6", 6'6", 6 chips. There you go. That's a good point. Jordan to Kobe to LBJ. Who's next? Looked like Steph was next. Steph Giannis. They was hoping Zion. Spec, he lost all the time in the finals. He lost all the time in the finals. What is he? He went. What did he go? 8, 9 in a row. So that's hard. That's hard. But they saw they kept the right ratings up as much as they sent him. Wow, I've been going that long. Okay. Okay. I'm not gonna go a whole lot longer. I got a busy day tomorrow. I do got to get up early, so I can't mess around and stay up all night. But maybe instead of doing the divination, I'll do a little. I'll hold a little positive energy out there. Those of you that want to practice, I guess we can do a little practice. And so I guess those of you want to follow along, you can follow along. Those of you that don't, that's okay. You can cut off. But I guess I'll just ask each of you to close your eyes. Now it's gonna be hard for me to, because I got all these damn lights on me. I got 2, 4, 5, 6, 7 lights on me. So please forgive me, but it's hard for me to black out. I guess I'd have to look over that way. Still too much light coming in, but that's all right. I can send the energy out like this. So I guess how I would really just want to start is if you did get to see the blood moon, imagine that. And once that pops into your knowing what that picture was, if you got to see it, really looked like a moon with like a rust color almost, kind of an orangish red. And just imagine that you're outside being moon kissed by it. But remember, it's not a one-way thing. It is coming and going. And so as you're being moon kissed, you're thanking the moon. You're thanking the moon for showing a different form, because normally we just see one face of the moon. Tonight we got to see at least a different face, even though it's the same side. It showed a different face of the same side. And so we thank it. And for those of you that have plans coming up, this is a good time as you're thinking of the moon, feeling moon kissed, to put a small manifestation in there. I mean, what would you like to manifest in the next 30 days? And then you can make it as long, or whenever you need it to happen, you can put that in there. I'm just giving the general idea. And as you put in your manifestations, take a second and just be thankful for everything you have, and know that everything you have is enough. And even though you do want to manifest for other things to happen, you are still thankful for everything that you have in the situation you are in your life. Because no matter what, it is life. Rough, soft, hard, is still life. And so as you take the time to make a quick manifestation, you give the thankfulness of what you have, and just feel a nice spring night being in the moonlight. The song used to go, dancing in the moonlight. It's just a fine and natural sight. Everybody is dancing in the moonlight. And so feel that. Feel those rays. Feel light in the dark. And feel the transformation that the moon just made. And just feel the calmness of it all. Just feel the calmness of that two-way connection. Just as you're gazing on the moon is gazing on you. And just feel joyful who you are, that you're living at this time, this place. And just feel that. And feel positive about yourself. Feel self-love. Self-love is the best love because love just is. And just feel that self-love. And then just take the time for whatever you'd like to put out there. Take a few minutes and just put that out there. Whatever you think is necessary for you to manifest. And then just take another breath, deep breath in. And blow it out. Another cleansing breath in. Slowly come back into it. Well, guys, I'm going to be off until Thursday morning. I'll be back on after the game Wednesday. Tuesday, I got to work, so I think the game comes on at 7:30 here, so I'll probably have to record it to review it. So depending on how much game I catch, if I come on and review the game Tuesday. Hockey tomorrow, I don't think so. I think just Twins and Guardians just wrapped up. So maybe the Twins play tomorrow, but maybe no. If we get, I might do a daytime show if we get rain on Wednesday. If not, we'll probably just ride bikes or walk to school. So, yeah. So I'm going to leave it at that tonight. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. I appreciate it. These are just things that you can practice. I'm going to do some meditating now. We got a couple minds in here. And it's funny. When the young minds are in here, when I meditate, the young minds always kind of come and peek in a little bit. But most of the time, they're kind of burned off by it. But it's interesting that I'll be trying to meditate, and I know they're here, and it's like they're wandering minds, because young minds tend to wander a lot with the energy. And it's just funny. But these two have been here so often that it's like I can still get pretty into it. And they kind of don't wander, because they'll get a little bit of it. So. No, I think I'll hold that, but maybe share it at another date. But I'll share this part of it, and I guess in my own experience, I'll say this. This is the best way I could put it. Like on molding children, especially molding them spiritually, like what I practice can be a lot. What I have around this house is a lot. Now, I remember my daughter had a couple things revealed to her, because I have a couple crystals that when you sleep, they're really good. Stilobite is what it's called. It's another zoolite. It's the strongest of the zoolites. But for me, that's fine. But for my daughter, that's not fine. Because what was revealed to her was kind of like what was revealed to me when I was a young age. And it just always made me think, because when I was 5 years old, I saw my great-grandmother's death, clear as day when it happened. It didn't happen for 5 more years. But I had dreamt one night and saw it clear as day what happened to her. And I remember I woke up crying and stuff. But I guess for those of you that do collect crystals and do magic, something I learned from my daughter, and even for my son, I had to kind of tell these things that for them, you have to amp down. You kind of have to amp down for the younger minds. And so I've had to, tell my crystals, I had them amp down for my daughter, but I forgot it to my main room and how my son is exposed to amp things down for him too. So I had to kind of sit in the middle of all my room, and I had I appreciate all this high energy, but it is too much for his mind. And so we need to help him heal instead of feeding us, because a lot of this stuff is made to feed. It is made to it puts it in your atmosphere. And so sometimes you have to sit with the energy and say, that there has to be not a ceiling, but a consideration on who and how you're helping. And so if you ever come across that, that's a consideration. And I know there's some that listen that might come across that. So, but the magical things around you will understand. So if you have to do that, make that intention out there so the things know, because a lot of stuff you put around you don't necessarily know unless you really put it out there on what you need and how you manifest. That's why, again, it is not unreasonable to ask your room, whatever you put around you, to help uplift you. I mean, if you're feeling really low, you got to say, this is what I need right now. I say, I know this isn't your job all the time, but I really need it to be uplifted. I need to be some of this gloom taken off me. So what is around me that can take this gloom off me and put love back in my heart? Simple requests like that, things in your room should be able to do. And as I said before, if there's anything in your house that just makes you feel funny, I don't care how much it costs, get rid of it. Get rid of it, because if it makes you feel weird, shouldn't. So, well, y'all, this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I will see you Thursday morning, unless we have a rain day, which maybe Wednesday afternoon, maybe. But I do have to work this week. So, yeah, I'm a working man out there slaving. I got me a slave. So this has been the Chocolate Mountain Show. I am your host, Big Pontiac, thanking each and every one of you for joining me on the Galactic Patio. So, till we meet again, say less. Freaky deaky.